So this is Similarity and right triangles. It's a little warm-up thing up here for y'all simplifying radicals. I know half of y'all don't forget, so I'm gonna just do it with you. You're supposed to do it on your own. I'll make the other kids do it. But since I'm starting my video, we'll do it together. The reason we start y'all out right here is because when you are doing these similarity and right triangles, when you write your proportions at the end, your answer may not be a whole number. Sometimes your answer may be a radical, and you're going to have to simplify that radical. We don't want decimal form unless we ask you for decimal form. A lot of times with these, we'll ask you to give us the answer in simplified radical form. Y'all have done this before, but it's just a reminder for you. That's why it's called a warm-up. So shouldn't nothing be shocking about what we're about to do. Alright. This first one. It says 5 radical 45. Outside you have a 5, inside you have radical 45. We want to simplify this radical. Guess I can go with Emra. Emra, what two multiples under the radical sign to give us 45?
5 and 9?
Yeah. 5 and 9. I'm putting a 9 in front. It don't really matter though. Yeah, 9 times 5 will give us 45 under the radical sign. At this point, 5 is a prime number, so we can't do anything else with that but the 9. Emra, what can you do with that?
You need to split it into 3 times 3.
Yeah, 3 times 3. Now remember, the rule is under the radical sign, anytime you get these doubles like this, that means you have a perfect square. That means 9 can be square rooted. You can take the square root of 9. So I'm taking these 3's and I'm moving them out. Under the radical sign, I'm going to keep the 5. Outside of my radical now, I'm going to have 5 times 3. And inside, I'm going to leave the 5 that I didn't do anything else with. On the outside, 5 times 3, clean that up. That's going to be 15 square root 5. Next one, 2 square root 180. No right or wrong way to do this. Just pick 2 multiples. Billy, what numbers you're gonna pick?
18 and 10.
Oh, you want to do it the hard way, but okay. Well, that ain't the hard way. It's gonna make me go a little further. 18 and 10. Okay. I'm listening. We can keep going. Billy, let's keep going. Thank you. Because this is going to take all day. Over here, 5 and 2. Alright. 2 is prime, 5 is prime, 2 is prime. Here in the 9, 3 and 3. Alright, so now I got all primes. 3, 3, 2, 2, and 5. Remember, doubles come out. Got 3 and 3 here, and I got, they ain't close enough, but I guess I'll just circle them separately. These 2's here. All that needs to come out. Only thing that's staying under is this 5 right here that we didn't do anything else with. So on the outside, I'm going to have the original 2 that was outside, 2 times my 3 that I'm pulling out, times this other set of 2 that I'm pulling out right here. and then under the square root it's going to be 5. Then I need to clean that up. 2 times 3 times 2 on the outside is what? 12, thank you. So this is 12 square root 5. Alright. Next one. Next one. This is what we're getting to today, but like I said, that part right there needs to be done so we can do this. Was that knock on the door? No. Oh. Geometric mean theorem or geometric mean altitude theorem. What we're doing today is called geometric mean, but we call it similarity in right triangles. It's 2 different theorems I'm going to show you. Don't worry so much about the theorems. We're going to show you easy ways to set up. But we're going to teach you the theorems just on the strength so you can know. But this definition, these words, it ain't going to mean too much to you until you see it applied. But I'm going to read it. The first theorem is the altitude theorem for geometric mean. It says in a right triangle, the altitude, and let's talk about that word before we get too deep. This is the first time you're going to hear it in geometry with me, but in this 9 weeks, you're going to hear the word altitude a lot. Altitude, all it is a height measurement of a triangle. It's a vertical height measurement. Like based on where your triangle is sitting, whatever that vertical height is, we call that the altitude. Altitude is an actual word beyond geometry too. I'm sure anybody ever watched a movie or flew on a plane or listened to somebody talk about a plane being in the sky, like what's the plane's altitude or whatever. They don't say the word what's the plane's height in the sky. They say what's the plane's altitude. What's its vertical distance from the ground, basically. That's what an altitude is for our triangles too. It's the vertical distance from that flat side or that bottom side of your triangle. That measurement is called the altitude. It's not like I said, you're gonna hear that word a lot from now on, but I want to tell you what it is. And it'll be that line right here in the triangle. You can't miss it. It says in the right triangle, the altitude from the right angle, this right angle up top, to the hypotenuse, the longest side, right here, which is our bottom side, divides the hypotenuse into 2 segments. And they're talking about from A to D to D to B. It splits, this altitude splits this hypotenuse at the bottom into 2 segments, AD and DB right here. The length of the altitude is the geometric mean of the lengths of the 2 segments. Yeah. That's a cute way they're trying to say all this stuff is proportional. I'm going to show you how to. I even made my little cutout triangles too to show you. That's the altitude theorem. There's another theorem on these type of triangles too, geometry mean, called the leg theorem. It says the length of each leg of a right triangle, up here that would have been AC and then CB, the length of those 2 legs in the right triangle, is the geometric mean of the lengths of the hypotenuse and the segment of the hypotenuse that is adjacent to the leg. Once again, these are all words, ain't gonna mean too much to you. If you follow the 2 strategies I give you, you ain't gotta worry about those words. You'll know how to do these problems anyway. Alright, before we get into these down here, I'm gonna show you kind of why we're doing this. I think it'll help a little bit. So say you have, let me zoom out a little bit. And I didn't put my little right angle up here. Hold on. Let me put one up here. Turn my shit straight. See how that setup they have up here, this right triangle that they're talking about. I label mine myself though. They're saying in this right triangle, when you draw altitude down it, what you're doing is splitting it into, it's a big right triangle, the whole thing, but there's also a small right triangle over here, and then there's another right triangle right here. They're saying all of these triangles, all 3 of them, are similar. Let me show you how. So I'm put these 2 pieces on top. Say I split this piece off, this right triangle right here. Say I split that off, and say I split this right triangle right here off, and then I turn all of these. Oh, zoom out again. Damn, I can't zoom out no more. Yeah, there I go. Right there. All these right triangles are similar to each other. And that's what they're trying to say with this geometric mean thing. But you can't see them all split like that when they're put together the way they are. So they give us two methods to use to be able to figure out how to write proportions. Because what they're saying is, since this is these triangles are similar, even though they're inside one of another, I could write a proportion. If I was missing the length on this side right here, but I knew this side and this side and this side right here, I could write a proportion between those to find the length of this side. Well, it's hard to see how to write that proportion when all the triangles are put together the way I showed you a second ago. So they teach you methods on how to be able to write those proportions to find which sides are similar. And there's two methods that we're going to do. One is called heartbeat, one is called boomerang, down here at the bottom. But this is ultimately what we're trying to do. Since we can't see it this way when they're all, let me go back together. When all put together like this, all three triangles on top of each other like that, since we can't see it like I just showed you, that, like I say, there's methods down here that we use to be able to write the proportions depending on where our stuff is that we're trying to find. Alright, zoom back in. So the first method is called heartbeat. You're only going to use this method, and we're going to start by writing that down here at the bottom. I'm going to write a little something down here, a little star, so you'll know when to use heartbeat. You only want to use the heartbeat method. Use heartbeat when there is a number, I'm going to put the pound sign, or variable on the altitude. Alright, let me zoom in. So we're only using this method when there's a number or a variable on the altitude. Remember, altitude is just that vertical measurement from the bottom of the triangle or the base to the top. In this case, our base is going to be our hypotenuse. So we're only going to use this method I'm about to show you right now when there's something on this altitude right here. If you look at the second method right here, boomerang, you see there's nothing on the altitude. It's not labeled with a number or a variable. It's all variables starting out, of course, because we just want to show you how to set up proportions. We're going to use numbers on the back, obviously. But if there's nothing here, we're not going to use this first method I'm showing you. If there's something here, we're going to use this method, heartbeat. Alright, so the heartbeat method. And they call it heartbeat because I'm sure y'all seen the little heartbeat rhythm machine or whatever, in the hospital or whatever. How the line goes over, up, down, over again or whatever. That's why they call this heartbeat. That's how we're going to follow it across the triangle to write our proportion. And it's showing you the direction you can go. So it don't matter either. I'm going to write it both ways. You can go left to right and do heartbeat, or you can go right to left and do heartbeat. Either way, you're going to write a proportion that's going to be decent. So going from left to right, it tells me to go across the bottom, A, or whatever's there. It don't matter if it's A or whatever number is there. Then it go up the altitude, come back down the altitude, and then go across and finish going across the bottom. This is telling me how to write the proportion. Let me show you. And when I start, I'm starting the left top part of my proportion, then go down, then go up, then go down. So write my proportion. I'm going across A, so A goes up here. Then I'm going up the altitude. When I go up the altitude, I go up on this X. When I go up on X, I'm going to write X here. When I come back down the altitude, I come back down and hit X. Write that there. And then I'm going to go across B to finish off. I'm writing that there. This is writing a proportion using the heartbeat method. Now I only have letters here, so you're seeing letters, but when we put numbers and stuff in, make sure you put the numbers in those spots. Like I say, you can go either way though. Even if you wanted to come back and go the opposite direction. I'll do it in red. Even if you wanted to come back the opposite direction, you could. I can start with this side, come back B, then go up go up X, the altitude, come back down that altitude, X, and then go across A at the bottom. And that will be me writing the proportion for heartbeat. After you write it, you can solve. Like I said, the only new part I'm teaching y'all today is just how to write this proportion based on these right triangles that are similar and they're on top of each other. This geometric mean stuff. Everything else, like once you get to this point, you'll know how to solve a proportion. You just gotta be able to write it correctly. Alright, so that's altitude. This is a boomerang. And I'm sure if you look at this long enough, you'll understand why we call this boomerang. The boomerang one, we call it that because you kind of go across and come back. Kind of like it throws itself back the same direction it came. Now, boomerang is two ways to write this one too. But you're only doing boomerang when there's nothing on the altitude. If there's nothing on the altitude, you're going to do boomerang. Because more than likely, if there's nothing on the altitude, then there's something on either this leg over here or this leg over here that you need to use. And you'll know which leg to go up. So on this one, doesn't matter where you start. I always start with the short side, but you don't have to. You can start with the long. But we're starting at the bottom down here. With the boomerang, you go across your short segment on the bottom first, which for me is X. Then you come up this side A. Then you come back down A. Then I go across the long way C. So writing this, like I said, I'm gonna go up X. So X goes first. Then I'm gonna come around along this side right here, A. Then I'm gonna come back down, A. And then I'm gonna go across C. The whole thing at the bottom. At some point you gotta do the whole thing, whether you do it at the beginning or the end. Like I said, on this one, you could have started with C, went the long way C, up A, back down A, and then C. You could have did that, so you could have wrote this proportion too. Don't know that. You could have wrote C, then A equals A over X. That would have been fine too. If you would have started with the long side, come up, come back down that way. Just make sure you do the long and the short, or whichever side you're on. Now, if you have a different color pen, this would be nice, because I'm about to show you if there's stuff on the other way. So say, I'm going to just add some more letters in. Say there was a B over here. If you have a different color pen, this will be nice to use. Say you had a D right here. I would boomerang this way. If I was solving for like B or D, I would boomerang this way right here. And I'm going to draw arrows for you. And I'm going to start drawing arrows for y'all on the back too, so y'all can see the path. But I will come across B. Then I will go up D. Then I will come back down D right here. And then I'm going to boomerang all the way across C on the bottom. Oh, I know I turned my paper. I turned it back straight. My bad. And then on the bottom, I will come all the way back across C. So if they had me solving for something on this side, my proportion would be B over D equals D over X. I mean X, I'm talking about C. My bad, I'm messing that up. C. C is my long side at the bottom. I don't even know where I wrote it. Sorry. Alright. Let's apply it. This is one of those things, the more practice you do, the better you get. Every year I have kids be like, I don't understand, and the more they do it, like, oh, okay, I got it. It's just a practicing thing. Let's do these four on the back. We got numbers now because we actually solving for something. It says find the missing length indicated, leave in simplest radical form if needed. Everything ain't gonna be simplest radical form. Sometimes you get whole numbers, sometimes you'll get a radical though. You're gonna have to break that down. The first thing you want to do on these, and the first thing I make my kids do, which are y'all, I'm talking about my kids every year when we do this, I want you to identify which method you're using first. And I want y'all to do that on the stuff that y'all do for me too. I want you to identify the method that you're using, and then you're gonna solve or whatever. Alright, set up and solve. So just save me on, let's see if you was paying attention. On number 1, which method would I be using? Heartbeat or boomerang? Why are you using that? I'm just asking. Jeremiah? Why are you using heartbeat? Thank you. Perfect explanation. You should be using heartbeat because there's a number on the altitude. And like I said, I draw arrows with y'all, so I'm going to do it. Don't matter which direction you go. Like I said, I read left to right, so that's the direction I always go. I'm going to start here, since I'm doing heartbeat. And I know this is upside down, but you can still see. Don't act like you can't figure nothing out. I'm going to start, this is the bottom basically for you right here. I'm going to start here at the end, go across this 5. Then I'm going to go up the altitude. Then I'm going to come back down the altitude. And then I'm going to go back across and finish my way across the bottom. So I started here, went up, went down, went across. Doing that, what proportion should I write? Since you answered this one correct, Jeremiah, tell me the proportion. 5 over 10. Thank you. 5 over 10, 10 over x. Perfect. And then after that, you just cross multiply and solve. You just got to be able to get it set up. My bad, I didn't know I wasn't showing y'all. Sorry. Cross multiply, solve. Five x. 10 times 10 is 100. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals 20. Yeah. So x equals 20. Got a whole number on this one. We're clean. Alright. Oh. Yeah. Number 2 is a good one to show y'all. Billy. Which method are we using on number 2? Heartbeat. Why? Yes, there's something on the altitude, a variable or a number, so we're going to use heartbeat again. I know this one looks a little different, but we're going to have to make adjustments. Well, we'll see. Alright. So like I told y'all, I like to move left to right. This is my bottom here. I'm still going to do heartbeat. I know this looks a little bit different, but we're still going to heartbeat. And then we're going to make adjustments as needed. So I'm going across my bottom here till I get to the altitude. Then I'm coming up the altitude. Then I'm going down the altitude. Then I'm going to finish my way across because I'm doing heartbeat. Now my question to you is, and I think Carson will be able to answer this, if not Billy. When I went across, I only went across to the altitude right here. Rodriguez. So, what is the first number I need to put in my proportion? Good. 64. The first number in my proportion should be 64. Those who don't know how we got it, they gave us 100, which is the whole length of the bottom, and it was 36 right here. So we said 100 minus 36 and got 64. That first length right here should be 64. what proportion you writing? 64 over x over 36. Alright. Cross multiply here and here. And this is where we, well, let me get that first. I don't want to say anything. Say that number again? 2,304. Well, let me ask you this since you said that number. What's x times x? X squared. X times x is x squared. This is where these radicals come into play. Hold on. Yeah. Well, since this is x squared, y'all should know from when we did Pythagorean, what's the next step we gotta take to get that square off of x? I'm sorry? Square root. Y'all should know the opposite of squaring a number is taking a square root, so that'd be inverse operation on this one. Get that off. What you say? 48? Alright. So on this one it came out clean. When we took square root, we got 48. So we didn't have to simplify that radical, it came out as a whole number. That's cool. Let's keep moving. Ms. Welch, number 3. Which method are you using? Say it again. Why are you using it? So that's why we use heartbeat. That's why I told you to write on the front. Read what you got written under heartbeat on the front. Oh, you settled in on that, huh? Okay. Jorge, what we using, man?
Boomerang.
Yeah, boomerang. Why you using boomerang?
Because there's no numbers on the altitude.
There it is. There's no numbers or variables on the altitude. I guess I need to talk about what the altitude is again real quick. Altitude is this little height measurement inside the triangle. If there's nothing on that, then you're using boomerang. Guaranteed. Alright. So the thing about it is knowing which way to boomerang. On this one, I'm looking for x right here. So I'm boomeranging around this way. I don't need to worry about boomeranging this way. Ain't nothing over there that I need. I'm boomeranging this way. Like I said, I always start with my shorter bottom side first, and then go up, and then come back out, and then I go the long way. But you can go the long way first, and then come up, come down, and do the short way. It's up to you. But if you looking at me to show you, I'm gonna do the short way first. So I'm going from here across 2. I'm starting in the middle, going across 2. I'm gonna boomerang my way up, come back down, and then I'm gonna go across the whole bottom. At some point when you boomerang, you got to go across the whole bottom though. Make sure you do that. Whether you start going across the whole bottom or finish, at some point when you do the boomerang, go across the whole bottom. Alright. Jorge, since you set me up, set my proportion up with me. Two over x equals x over say it again. You overthinking it. No. Underthinking it now. Yeah, 14. You just want to add these together. You're not multiplying. 2 plus 12. 14. crossing, get x squared equals, is that 28? Square root, square root. When you take square root of, well, I ain't gonna put x yet. When you take square root of 28, y'all get a decimal, right? So obviously we need to simplify this radical. Let's break this one down. 28, what two multiples? 4 and 7, okay. 7 is a prime number, you're done with that. 4, 2 and 2. There go your doubles right there. Those can come out. So when I write this, I'm writing x equals, my bad, x equals what? What's going to be on the outside? A 2. Inside, 7. 2 square root 7. Number 4. Let's slide there. That's what? I'm going to show you how to deal with it, though. It's easy. I got a trick for y'all. Think you'll like it. Tally, number 4. What are we doing? What method? Tell me why. What number you got on the altitude? You think that's the altitude? $90 is an angle. We ain't dealing with no angles. I see. Y'all tripping. Huh? Yeah, man. Tally, this the altitude right here, bro. Right here. This line right here. This the altitude. If it ain't nothing there, we boomeranging, man. Like I said, all you gotta do is just identify which way you're going. Obviously, we boomeranging this way. Swoop, 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 swoop. It should be easy for y'all to see. Ain't nothing this way, so why would you boomerang that way? Now, if you gotta solve, now there is some problems that we'll do. I think when by the time you get to the test, but you'll be comfortable by then, that we'll have a variable here and a variable over here. So you have to boomerang both ways, but y'all will be able to do it by then. Y'all will be confident enough. So sweeping this way, sweeping up, coming back down, and then like I say, you finish, go all the way across. You sure you want to use it right now? I don't feel confident in you. Yeah. Write this proportion first. Oh man, I meant to label boomerang up there. Go ahead. I don't do the arrows. I just need you to write the proportion. 45 over x. X over 81. Alright. Cross multiply. Say what? Somebody split that number for us. Thank you. 3,645. Now when you take square root of this, I'm sure you're not going to get a whole number, right? Don't panic. I know it's a big number. You're like, oh, what are the multiples? Trick to this. Didn't you just multiply to get these two numbers? Why not use those two numbers to break it back down then? Kids don't ever think about that, but I just multiplied to get this number right here. So I know multiples of this number. I'm going to break this back down to 45 and 81. And then I can roll from there. 45. What two numbers? 5 and 9 or 9 and 5, whichever way you want to see it. So 5 and 9. 81. 9 and 9. So you already know where we're going. Now, and some of y'all keep going too far. Sometimes y'all be thinking about it, and that's okay. I do it sometimes too. If you get 9 times 9, you don't need to break that down no more. I know a lot of y'all want to say, oh, 3 and 3, 3 and 3. But what's the point? It's 9 times 9 right here, right? 9 times 9 is a perfect square. You could take square root of 81, can't you? So don't break that one down. That's just going to waste your time. Circle those 2 9s, you're going to bring a 9 out. On this side, though, I got another 9, though. I got a 5 and a 9. I need to break this 9 down. This 9 is what? 3 and 3. So that's just telling me I'm going to bring a 3 out and a 9 out. What am I leaving under the radical sign? A 5. Alright, so it's going to be x, and then on the outside it's going to be 3 times 9. Inside we're leaving a 5. And then 3 times 9, 27. And so 27 square root 5 would be my answer. My bad. Little icon stay in the way. But yeah, if you get a big number like that and you're not sure what multiples to use what you ever used to multiply in the first place. Let me see if I want to keep recording for these notes. I might. Huh? Yeah, hurry back, please. Alright, I don't provide too much assistance on these because I think y'all be able to figure it out. But I want to start you out, make sure we straight. I'm going to start on the first couple and make sure we still labeling good. No, I'm not going to do the first one. Only thing I'm going to do on the first one is make vents. We're going to practice now. Same stuff we've been doing, vents. Vents, what method are you using? Heartbeat. Cool. I ain't done. Hold on. Miss Welch. We numbered this weird. I'm sorry. Go to number 4, the one to the right. Which method are we using? Heartbeat. Let's see. I ain't here. Emma. Number 2. Thank you. And then one more with y'all, make sure y'all straight. Zoe, number 5. Heartbeat. Alright. I do want to set one up with you though, because it's a little bit different than what you've seen. I don't think you're ready for it yet. Yeah, I know. Number 4. It's a little bit different, but it's something y'all can do. This is heartbeat, so we'll do our heartbeat across here. We're going across this short side. Like I said, I always go left to right, but that's just me. Then I'm going up the altitude. Then I'm coming back down the altitude. Then I'm finishing my way across the bottom right here. Now, we got to figure out what proportion we need to write. Anybody got an idea? Well, the issue is going to be my first part of my proportion. What would this short side right here be? Anybody got an idea? X is the whole thing. Come on, somebody impress me. Nah. It's algebra. You can, as long as you follow the rules of algebra, you can do whatever you want. I want to see if somebody's gonna come up with this.
36.
No, it's not. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's no number. Well, it's not just a number.
It's not just a number.
No.
Oh.
Huh? Now, somebody. What you said, Rama? There it is. X minus 64. That's what that little short piece is going to be. You know the whole thing is x. So this short side has to be whatever x minus 64 is, right? So you can write that there. And then we can write our proportion. So it's going to start out as x minus 64 over 48 equals 48 over 64. And then once you do this, you're going to distribute and all that good stuff for this one. And then solve the equation. I solved, yeah. Alright, that's the only one that you may run into issue on. But I wanted to help you show you that one. On the back, there's 2 word problems at the end. You need to do those 2 word problems too. Honestly, those are kind of going to be like the ones you're going to see on the test. You'll figure it out. The best thing you can do for yourself on the 2 word problems at the end, they tell you the numbers in the problem. Label the picture with the numbers, and then that'll tell you which method you're going to use. By the time you label correctly, you'll see which way you got to go, whether you got to do boomerang or heartbeat. Put a variable on whatever they're asking you for too. So I think on number 11 they're asking you for the distance across the lake. Put an X there. And then for the other ones, put the numbers in, and then you'll see which method you need to use. Same thing on number 12. You'll be able to figure those out though. Handle your business though. You should be able to finish this in class. Do I need to show you one right now? I might. Maybe I'll do number 7 and 9 with you so I can really be done with y'all. Or maybe I'm not done yet. Okay, let's do number 7 and number 9. Once again, this is stuff I feel like y'all can figure out, but y'all know how y'all are, so if you don't see it. Number 7. And we got a lot of space down here, but we're going to need the space. Number 7, we solving for X, Y, and Z. Depending on what you're solving for, you're going to use different methods. So let me do number 7, which I promise you it's going to be the last one because I'm getting tired. So for X, if I'm solving for X, and Emma, you can help me out on this. If I'm solving for X, Emma, which method am I going to use? Heartbeat. So I'm going to, right here I'm going to label X, and I'm going to say I'm using heartbeat for that. I'm going to label as I go. X, and we're using heartbeat. So for the X, and I might go in different colors so y'all can see the different arrows. Y'all need me to put arrows on here, or y'all can follow along? I think I can follow along without them. I won't do the arrows for heartbeat. Set up my proportion, Emma. Because it's going to get messy if I do all of them. 5 over X. And X over 15. Good. That'll be your setup for heartbeat. X squared here. 15 times 5. Oh, God, I don't know that math in my head. 30, 40, 75? Yes? No? Maybe? Thank you. 75. Square root, square root. Probably not going to get a whole number, so I'm going to use just the multiples they gave me, unless y'all can think of something better. Well, I can think of something better. I ain't going to use 15 and 5. I'm going to use something better than that. I'm going to use 25 and 3. And then I get 5 and 5. Yeah. So for my X, go back black. X equals 5 square root 3. That's what I got. Alright. So that's my X. Let me go back and we need to find Y and Z. Let's go in order then. Zoe, for Y, what's the method you're using? Girl, what? Yeah. Huh? We did heartbeat for X, yes. Boomerang. I heard you. And if that was a whole number, what's your name? Billy? If we got a whole number from the x, you're right, we could have just used Pythagorean because this is the right triangle, right? But we ain't get no whole number, so I ain't trying to do all that. You feel me? I say, you feel me? Now, truth be told, since x squared, well, you could still, Billy. I see where you going with it. Because when we do Pythagorean, we end up squaring the numbers anyway, right? And we know x squared is 75, so we could use Pythagorean on that if we want. But I'm teaching y'all boomerang heartbeat right now. Stop trying to go other ways. Alright, so I'm going to do this arrow in red so you can see it. Going across, going up, coming back down, and then I'm going all the way across. Can you write this one for us, Zoe? 15 over y. Y over what? You sure? Huh? Zoe, when we come back across, we're doing the whole bottom. Don't overthink this. The whole bottom. What? 20. So we're crossing again. I ain't even cross multiply on the last one. My bad, y'all. Y squared. What's 15 times 20? 300. Feel like we're not gonna get a whole number from this one either. We don't. Well, unless y'all think of a better split, we can do 15 and 20. Well, I know I can do 25. What's 300 divided by 25? Tell me that. Y'all might not be able to see that though. Let's just use 15 and 20. I'm gonna go away a route that y'all can see. Like I said, if you can't think of any other numbers to split this with, go back to what you originally had. Yeah, but everybody may not see that, so I'm gonna teach you the way people will see it. If you can't think of any other numbers, I know 25 goes in 300, but everybody don't know that for some reason. So if you don't know that, just use the original two numbers you had. All right, I don't want y'all to get stuck. But I don't know what to do, what to split. So this is 5 and 3. This is 5 and 4, I guess. My bad. And then the 4 needs to be split 2 and 2. Alright. So now I'm circling. I got double 2s here. And I got double 5s here and here. Only thing I didn't that I didn't touch was the 3 right there. So that stays under. So I'm writing this as what? Y equals what? Yeah, y equals 5 times 2 square root 3, which is y equals 10 square root 3. And then I'm going to do the z up here, and this open space up top. Jalen, we need to do z next. For z, what method we're using? Jalen. Boomerang. We just going the other way with it. I'm gonna do this in green so you won't see the same arrows. So I'm swinging this way to my left, going up z, coming back down z, Then I'm going back all the way across the bottom. Notice some ugly arrows, but I'm trying to do it fast. Jalen, what proportion I'm writing? 5 over z. And z over 20. Oh, thank God. I think this one's going to come out clean. Alright, cross multiply. Z squared equals 100. Yes. And try to simplify. That's z squared. That's ugly too. Sorry. Square root. Yeah. Z equals 10. Alrighty. See, made me do one. Good. I'm gonna leave that up. I know some of y'all write slow. But now I'm done for real. I ain't doing no more. Rest on y'all. I put y'all in a very good position though.